We're here once again in the motorcycle section of my garage. This is my Suzuki X6 Hustler. That's the oldest one, and this is the newest Suzuki. But we're not talking about motorcycles today. You know, I was watching, I think it was Oprah, one of these shows, and it said, like, 8 out of 10 women are wearing the wrong size bra. And I go, well, how dumb is that? How do you go through life wearing the wrong size bra? And then I realized, for the last 25 years, I've been wearing the wrong size helmet. Because I always had a helmet that was just a little large for me, and it would move around in my head, and I just thought, that's kind of what it was supposed to do. And then at Laguna Seca, I ran into this guy, Bruce Porter from Arai Helmets, and he has set me straight. We're going to show you how to get a helmet that actually fits. Now, I don't care how long you've been riding, I think you will be surprised by this. Bruce, come on in here. Bruce, how you doing?
Good, Jay. Good to see you.
Yeah, now I'm not laughing at those women with the bra thing anymore, because I realize I've been wearing the wrong size helmet. Explain to us how a helmet should fit.
Well, you know, how we make them to protect you is really rocket science, but fitting them is very straightforward, and it really comes down to a measurement of the human head.
Right, okay.
Getting that circumference so we know we're working from a basic measurement. There's too much trial and error in the process right now, and people need someone to help guide them through that. So basing it off of an actual circumference measurement is really important.
Because like a lot of guys, I go into a motorcycle shop and say, all right, give me a Arai helmet, and oh, that's pretty good. But I found at high speeds, anything over maybe 100 miles an hour, suddenly my helmet was, I'd find myself kind of doing that a little bit and always sort of pushing it. And I thought that's kind of what you're supposed to do, because I thought too tight, I'd just be sweating all over the place. But it should be snug, shouldn't it?
Absolutely. And we had, you know, the experience that you and I had on the fitting of your helmet, and you have a lot of helmets, you've been riding for a long time, but we started you in an extra large. That's what when I met you, that's what you were wearing.
Being in the show business, I thought, well, I'd need an extra large helmet because I have a big head.
Everybody told me you had a large circumference head. You don't have a big head, you've got great hair.
That's what it is. It's
absolutely. And we've brought you down to a large now. When we're done, you're going to be in a medium.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. I take a large everything else. I just assume I take a large helmet as well.
And often, as I'm working with people trying to establish the right fit, and I put them in a helmet that I think we're heading in the right direction with, ask them how it is, they'll reach up and grab their face and say it's too tight.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons all of our helmets come with removable cheek pads. Every shell has 7 different thicknesses, because fitting your face is important, but fitting the top of your head where your brain is actually located is job one.
Okay. Well, show us how it works in this one, how these come in and out.
The liner snaps out of the interior, and there's 4 different thicknesses per shell, 3 different shell sizes, and then the cheek pad itself snaps out also, just like this, into your hands.
Okay.
And then there's 7 different thicknesses there. So basing it on that measured circumference for this component, the most critical, again, where your brain lives, and then adjusting facial fits secondary to that.
So a lot of times I put the blame on the motorcycle shop owners, because most kids, you know, you go in and you go, give me a helmet, try this one on. Hey, that fits you. I mean, they're not taking this helmet and putting this pad with this piece here, which is what they should be doing.
And the industry has recognized that, and they're actually starting to do a much better job of paying these people at the retail level.
Now, and these are also washable, correct?
Absolutely, 100%. The entire helmet is completely submersible.
Okay.
It's one of the most common questions about how long a helmet will actually last, and it's short of a crash, it's the contaminants you leave inside of it that when you wear it, the acids and oils contained in our perspiration, hair care products, cosmetics, things like that. So washing those contaminants from the interior are going to extend the life of the helmet tremendously.
And extend it how much? What is tremendously? Is it 5 years?
Industry says 3 to 5 years, but again, most of the helmets in the marketplace are not washable, so trying to wear one beyond perhaps a couple of seasons becomes something of a challenge.
You know, I have a lot of my Harley buddies. You know who you are. You wear the little half helmet thing because you've got huge arms and massive muscles. But your head, everybody's head is basic. Nobody's head can take more of a shock than anybody else's.
Absolutely. And Mr. Arai is very fond of pointing out, as it relates to what we do in professional motorsports, no one's head is more valuable than another person's. So we race right from the box. The same.
So putting a $300 helmet on a 10-cent head actually makes good economic sense.
For that 10-cent head, it does, absolutely.
I like a full face helmet because having gone down myself and seeing the earth scrape by, it's like you watch the earth like on TV. You're eventually in this window, and you just and you're like, oh, and I still have my chin, I still have my face. Of course, I've lost the front of my helmet, but
there's no question that a full coverage, one-piece design will afford a tremendous level of additional protection. I mean, here's a pretty good example of that kind of thing right here. This is a helmet from a street rider that we just received recently.
Okay.
This is a regular street occurrence. This
is he looking for warranty here? Is he going, hey, this helmet's no good. Look at, I fell down and it broke. I want my money back.
Normally, when they're this badly abused, we don't get that. Usually usually we get a letter thanking us for saving someone's life.
Now, is this guy eating baby food with a spoon now?
No,
Is
he
all
actually
right?
sent us a real nice letter. He didn't even lose consciousness in the accident. He
Wow.
broke his arm. He was up on his feet immediately. He was going 30 miles an hour and hit head on into the front of a Jeep Cherokee going about 40.
Now, I see a lot of people asking about putting a Bluetooth in a helmet, which seems really sort of stupid to me.
Well, there's a big push for communication in helmets
Right.
these days, and Bluetooth is on everybody's mind. But you know, we're a little worried about how busy it gets for people being
Right.
distracted with things like that, because Bluetooth is not only communication from a phone standpoint, but it's
Right.
bike-to-bike communication. You've got your GPS, you've got a stereo system there, and all those senses are a big part of surviving riding a motorcycle.
Now, you have kind of a interesting helmet here, historic.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we talked a moment ago about how we race from the box, that no person's life is more important than the next person's. And here's our product in the case of a street rider. Well, this
Right.
is a helmet off of one of our Grand Prix stars. This
Okay.
helmet belonged to Shinya Nakano. And this was from an accident at the Mugello facility in MotoGP from the 990 era. And this helmet went through about a 192 mile an hour crash
Wow.
and sustained almost 9 impacts before the rider came to a stop, and he never lost consciousness.
Now, we have footage of that. Here's footage of that crash. This is pretty amazing. Watch this.
この4台のあっと中野です中野です中野転倒中野が転倒していますそして今ヘルメットを脱がされましたストレートメインストレートですね300キロを超えようかというスピードが出ているところでのこの転倒中野真也ちょっとこれはショッキングな映像ですそしてコンクリートウォールの手前まで飛ばされました
And this is all that happened. Now, let me ask you something else. A lot of guys will crash. They'll go, oh, my helmet got all scraped up. It's not cracked. I can wear it again. Can you or no?
Well, you know, when it comes to actually crashing a motorcycle with the helmet on your head and hitting your head on the ground in a paved environment, almost without exception, the helmet is done. It's a single usage situation.
Okay.
The question I get more often than not is about, I knock my helmet off the seat of my motorcycle, I hear it's no good anymore. And the helmet is an action-reaction piece of protective gear. It's got a soft EPS liner inside and a hard outer shell. And if there isn't 5 kilos, roughly 12 pounds of human head inside to react against it, it's just reacting against its own 3-pound, very resilient makeup.
So it's okay.
Absolutely. In the case of
Okay.
an Arai, you're going to do some cosmetic damage potentially, but you're not going to infringe
Let me
on
ask
its
you about
protective
that. Suppose
capability.
somebody buys an Arai helmet and they go, oh, I want to paint this. And they start sanding and painting. Do they ruin the structural integrity? Does
No.
it break down? No, oh, it doesn't.
No,
See,
and it's-
see,
and it's-
I was always told that sort of did. You weaken the...
We worry about custom painting when consumers want to send their helmets to people who aren't qualified, like to your local body shop.
Right.
Because these are the EPS liner, the expanded polystyrene liner that is on the inside of the helmet, which is very similar to styrofoam. This is easily damaged by any contact with a petroleum derivative, which obviously paint is.
Right,
And
right.
it's also very susceptible to heat damage. So a heat lamp will concentrate heat through the shell and melt the inner liner, and you can't see that because that's in between the 2 layers.
And a full-face helmet, always better than an open-face helmet.
No question
Yeah.
about it. I get a lot of questions, Jay, about how a helmet actually works, and it's really made up of these 2 pieces.
Right, okay.
Hard outer shell's designed to do one thing only, and that's to take that energy of an impact, displace it over a broad surface.
Okay.
After it does its job, that passes that energy through the liner absorbs that energy.
And then you have the chewy nougat center.
For every 10 people that walk up, I'm lucky if one of them owns the correct size helmet.
Yeah.
My experience with Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
who's very involved in motorsports, as you know, owns his own race team now. When Michael
Yeah, I used to
came
play basketball with Michael years ago.
When Michael came to us, he was wearing a double extra large. He's in a large now.
Right.
Same experience you had. No one had ever put a tape measure
And
on
there
his
is a
head.
Mr. Arai.
Absolutely. Family-owned company, world's
Okay.
oldest, started in 1937.
I've gone down a few times myself, and I must say it's protected me. And obviously the lifesaver, I don't understand why anybody would ride without a helmet. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. And the nice thing is, it's the same color as my bike, so even though I'm not fashion coordinated in my real life, in my motorcycle life, oh, I'm Mr. Fashion Coordinated. Look at that. So Bruce, thanks a lot. Guys, remember, get the right size helmet, and if you're dating someone, make sure she has the right size bra. It's very easy to check. Well, never mind. Never mind how you do that. But I'm just being a wise guy. But again, very important. I didn't know anything about this. Like I say, like a lot of you, I would go in, I'd just buy a helmet off the rack. Seemed to kind of fit. what a difference it makes riding. I mean, in terms of wind blowing around your head and being comfortable, and you can ride at a much higher rate of speed because you don't get this sort of, you're not constantly moving and pushing. Bruce, you're a lifesaver. Thanks a lot. Literally.
Thank you very much.